Another factor which we have to keep in mind while studying macroeconomics and to determine the income will be the aggregate supply. When I talk of the aggregate supply, it means in fact the aggregate supply is the money value of total output available for purchase at a particular time in an economy. That is the production, how much it has been supplied in the market. When I talk of the aggregate supply, I view it, I see it from two angles, that is the classical view and the Keynesian view. The classical view says that there can be no change in the supply in spite of the rise in price. That is, prices will make no difference in the supply. This is the theory of what we call as the classical economist theory. But the Keynesian theory says that there does occur a change with the rise in price as far as the supply is concerned. So, one feels that the supply is inelastic when even the price rise, other feels that it is elastic to the price rise. So, these are the two big components for determining the national income or the income. And when I talk of the demand and supply, I keep in mind all these factors which are responsible for determining the income of a country, or to say the aggregate demand and supply determining the income. Now, let us try and understand more about this income determination by the facts like break-even point. What is break-even point? See, when we start with, it could be that the income is less and the expenditure is more. Now, rising it above, there comes a point when both the income and the expenditure are at the same level. So, this is the break-even point. Going further, maybe the income will rise and the expenditure will decrease. But as I said, this is the level where both the income and the expenditure have maintained a status quo. This is the break-even point. Now, when I talk of the ex ante and ex post, this is in savings investments, we have to remember that ex ante and ex post are the Latin words. Ex ante means before and ex post means after. That is what we plan and what happens in actual. So, the planning refers to ex ante, whereas the actual is the ex post. Now, planned saving, when we use this word as planned saving, this is used for the savings done by all the households. When I say planned investment, it is the investments done by all the firms, okay, the manufacturing units. This is the planned saving is to do with the household, planned investment is to do with the firms. Savings and investment. Remember, saving will always be household, investment will always be commercial, that is firms. Actual saving and actual investment. This was the planned one, that is the ex ante. But the actual saving and actual investment will come later on. Actual saving will be known of a household only after a certain period of time. That is to say, maybe after 1 year of time. Actual investment also will be known after a period of time. If I have to explain this in more easier way, I will say that the planned saving and the planned investment, as I said, is ex ante factor. It was proposed, or it was thought that they are going to save something, say 10,000 rupees every household, and they shall be investment of say 2 lakh rupees by every firm. And when it comes in actual, it could be more than 10,000 or less than 10,000 or more or less than 2 lakhs. That is to say, the ex ante and the ex post are always different, because this is what we plan and this is what happens in actual. Now, there is another term which we call as induced investment. Induced investment is always done by the units who are private, that is the private units whose main profit or whose main motive is to make profit and profit alone. So, the investment done by the private entrepreneurs to earn profit is called induced investment. Autonomous investment is the investment which is done without any of such thing in mind, say the profit motive. It is more of a welfare and it is done by the government. This is by the private firms, this is by the government, has profit as its motive, it has more of a welfare as its motive. So, these are the points break even when it comes at par with income and expenditure, ex ante what we plan, ex post what is actual. So, the planned saving is household, planned investment is firm, actual saving and actual investment come about after only a certain period of time, and the induced investment is done for profit, and by the private firms, autonomous investment is done by the government for welfare measures.